What's going on, everybody? If you caught my first video, you would have heard me talking about a fence project. Well, today we're getting back to building the gate for this area here, this time on Challenge to Build. Alright, so we're back in the shop. I got me and my son Aiden here helping me. What we are going to do is we're going to start working on layout. Say what's up to the camera, bud. We're going to keep it kind of simple. We're going to build a rectangle, more or less, a rectangle frame out of 2x2 14 gauge steel. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put the wood planking across the steel frame once we get it made. So we're going to start doing some layout and some measuring, figure out the dimensions that we need, and start cutting some steel up. All right, so I took a minute and did a quick sketch. One thing that you'll notice with the things that I do for my projects is I'm not much of a planner. I normally have everything built in my head. I'll do a couple quick sketches because I'm not much of a drawer. I just got a tape measure out. I did some quick measurements. The overall length of the gate is going to be 26 feet 2 inches, so 314 inches. The height of it is going to be 44 inches tall. The overall height is actually 48, but because of the thicknesses of the boards that I'm using, it'll give us an overall height of 48. And I'm giving myself a little bit of clearance from top to bottom, especially the bottom for ground clearance. So 314 inches divided by 3 comes out to about 104.5 inches for the 3 sections of fence. So I took the time to figure out what we would need as far as pieces. I need 4 pieces at 85 inches, and then I need 4 pieces at 44 inches. I already forgot. I have to look at my page for all the uprights. So I will be using my angle grinder. So make sure you wear safety gloves, have safety glasses or a safety shield. I'm wearing my earplugs. So let's get cutting. The measurement was 40 inches, in case you needed to know.
Wait, 40 inches again?
40 inches. So just mark a little line.
Measure the whole.
Good. It would be a lot easier if I had a metal cutting bandsaw or a chop saw, which eventually I'll have one, but I've been using my angle grinder for years and can't live without it. All right, so now that all the cutting's done, we're gonna focus on doing some layout and start squaring it up and get it welded. An unpaid advertisement, but the one day I was shopping at Tractor Supply and I found these adjustable vice grip F clamps, I guess. I haven't been able to find these anywhere else. These are some of the best welding clamps that I've been able to find and use for relatively cheap money. I think they're like $13 a piece. So if you have a Tractor Supply near you, go check them out. If not, you might have to find them online, but like I said, it's the only place I've ever found them. But once you get the pipes together, and essentially it's going to be the same process for every joint. I'm going to set it up, clamp it up so it's nice and straight, weld it top and bottom, and then we'll put in the uprights down the same way. All right, so I made a really rookie YouTube mistake. when we finally got everything set up to weld, I hit record button on my phone, and rather than it being in the video format, it was in a picture format. So you kind of missed my boys welding the straight lengths together after we got them all clamped together. But not to worry. After everything got clamped together, we just ran welds around the joints. What you're going to see me do next is take an angle grinder. I will not make the same mistake as far as hitting record. So I'm going to take an angle grinder with a 40 grit flap disc, clean up the welds, and then we're going to put the uprights in for the gate.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
All right, so now that everything is ground clean, we have the uprights kind of positioned sort of where they need to go. I'm going to measure out the spacing for 3 equal spaces. And if my math is correct, it should come out to about 104 inches, or 104 and a half to be exact. So I'm going to start measuring out and placing the uprights where they need to go. Now it's time to start welding. After you make a rectangle or a square, you got to measure corner to corner in X. And if you get the same numbers, that means it's square. That means your corners are square. Does that make sense?
But if you don't, then that means you have to flip it.
That means you have to shift it and move it around until it's square. So we measured out the same numbers on both corners.
By using that square.
By using the squares, that means it's good. Alright, so I finished grinding some of the welds down flat, and we're doing our first initial test fit. We kind of got the easy part done, because now the hard part is going to be trying to figure out how to set up the mechanism for it to roll back and forth. So it's going to require me getting some wheels, and we're going to start working on the channel system for it to be for the guides. But overall, the first initial test fit looks pretty good. Ultimately, what's going to happen is I'm going to make it slide to the left. So I plan on putting wheels or tires over here, and with how heavy it is, I might even have to put them over there. And then we're going to build a channel system somewhere in the middle of the fence. I think maybe 2 rails as channels, and then have the guide posts and the guide rail system on this fence over here. So unfortunately, I got the easy part done, or I should say we got the easy part done. Now it's time for the hard part. All right, so this is a good way to end part 1 of the fence video. We got the gate welded up, cleaned up with the welds, and at least temporarily just held up in there. If you guys have any good ideas or comments on the slide mechanism, you can drop a comment in the section below. And
Please like this video. And please subscribe to this channel.
with that, you guys have a good day, and we'll catch you on the next one.